I competed in Abu Dhabi Combat Club, the tournament, which was in Beijing 3 days ago. And that was that's the hardest tournament in the world. Let's say the hardest thing that doesn't involve getting punched in the face, I think. Olympic wrestling, the highest level wrestling. Olympic judo, the highest level. Judo, you have the world championship. So jiu-jitsu with the gi, that's the highest level of that. But without a gi, with submissions in the entire world, that's the hardest tournament. I've won it 3 times. This year, unfortunately, I hadn't settled for a second play. I got silver. I guess I shouldn't be complaining too much. That's great to win silver. At my age of 37 is cool. All the guys winning right now are like 28, 27, 26. So, it's kind of cool to still be able to be at the top. And I'm always threatening people. Everyone I have a match with, I'm going for submissions. Everyone has to escape a submission, every single one of my matches. So I came from that high level. Here now, beautiful Thailand, Phuket. It's beautiful here, man. Having the time of my life. If you think you're gonna win or you don't, either way you're probably correct. So if you think you can be a success, if you deep down don't just tell yourself, but if you really feel you can be successful, you really mentally set yourself in that direction. I think that's the most important thing. The more that people just say yes or no, it's not so important. It's important to surround yourself with positive influences, but at the end, it's you have to listen to. And so I definitely, I think I listen to myself pretty well. I'm a little bit stubborn in the fact that I'm always going for submissions. I never tried to win by 1 point. I have my own way. I impose my own way of leg locks or just submission game in general on my opponents. I'm pretty good at doing that. But everyone's a little bit different. And some guy might stand left foot forward, someone might stand right foot forward, someone's more explosive, someone backs away more, someone attacks more, someone is taller, someone's shorter, someone's stronger, someone's weaker. So that's one thing, and it's very important to train with all kinds of different people. If you train with one type of guy, you can train with the baddest guy in the world, and you'll get to know his game, and you'll become better because of that. But you're only used to one thing, seeing one set of series of techniques that guys will try. If you train with guys all around the world, you're going to see a lot of different things and be prepared a lot better. So, yeah, all the guys had different styles. But, yeah, I got them in trouble, all of them. So it was good. Doing this a long time, almost 20 years. And at that time, the gi and the no-gi were, I don't know, they weren't so far apart. And people would take you down and get an arm triangle. They'd take you down. They'll go for submissions. And now it's just such a game where people will sit around for 3 or 4 hours a day thinking about the best way to intertwine their belts around your belt. Things like that they're so specialized. And it's not the intention I had of learning that when I began jiu-jitsu, Those guys that their defense for a leg lock is to make it illegal. And so they don't have to learn how to defend it. And then they find a guy at a different tournament where footlocks are legal. They just get absolutely killed and murdered. There's guys that will put themselves in a situation to disqualify their opponent on purpose. That's nothing. I would be ashamed of myself, and I would be ashamed of one of my students if they did that. So it's getting so sporty. It's taken away from the martial art that I fell in love with. And, I don't advocate slamming someone on the top of their head, spiking them. That's not good. I don't advocate a lot of things, but I advocate learning how to stop them. I advocate learning how to escape these bad situations that are illegal. Because imagine getting actually, let's say, a street fight, let's say outside of the ring or outside of the gym, if you get in a real physical altercation and someone does something illegal, if you have no idea, if you've never seen it before, you have no idea how to stop it, your coach has done you wrong, really. So my guys learn how to defend neck cranks. They learn how to defend things. We even address whether someone tries to bite you. I've had that happen before in real fights. It's not fun. I don't advocate biting people, but I learned how to make it less damaging to myself. Things like that, I really focus. I really think it's important to not forget. Martial art, martial meaning from war or combat. Mixed martial arts, of course, being the encompassing sport of all fighting. Once you get away from that, you're making it into an art form, not a martial art. I don't want to ever leave the martial arts. That's why I got into the sport. I like the event a lot. I like it a lot because it's not so partial to jiu-jitsu guys. You could argue that it is, but it's not. It's not so partial to wrestlers. Jiu-jitsu guys can get a -1 for pulling guard. Wrestlers can throw you and get a 4-point throw. There's certain, wherever style you are, is a base. Judo, sambo, wrestling, jiu-jitsu. You can do well in Abu Dhabi if you study the rules. It's not so partial to one style. So I like that a lot. In that sense, it's not just only to jiu-jitsu guys. Because of that, I think it welcomes all the styles in the world, and I consider myself a world level fighter. So yeah, I definitely see myself being around that competition the rest of my life. You know, coaching, representing the event, knowing the rules, and knowing how to fight without a gi is something I think is gonna. The gi and no gi game have gone opposite directions, and I like both, but I'm probably much more known for no gi, so I'm gonna stay with that for a while and never turn my back on the event. So yeah, for a long time, I think.